Hi class, time for math. I wondered if you had any paper plates at home. Doesn't matter what size, I have small ones like this. Could you ask a parent if you could find a paper plate and some scissors? I know you brought your scissors home from school. If you can't find a paper plate, maybe a piece of construction paper or really any paper would work. I'll give you a minute to find that. I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you're not ready, just pause me. I want to work with our fractions today. If you've looked at your math paper for today, on page 253, they are going to ask you some questions about fractions, and I want to do a fun activity to help us practice. I have a whole paper plate. If I want to break my paper plate in half, how many parts will I need? I will need 2 parts. So I'm going to cut right down the middle of my paper plates. You may do this with me. Now I have 2 parts. We call this fraction 1/2. I'm going to write that on the board. Okay, so we had a whole paper plate, and then we cut the paper plate in half. So this side would be called 1 of 2 parts, 1/2. Now, when we make 1/4, back to the whole, when we make 1/4, we take this half and cut it in half, and this half and cut it in half. So let's do that. Take 1/2 of your paper plate and cut it in half. Then take your other half of paper plate. Just need to plug my phone in just a second. Take your other half of paper plate and cut it in half. Now you should have 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, whoops, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I took my whole paper plate and I cut it in fourths. I'm going to write that on the board. Okay, so let's see. To do fourths, I took this half and cut it in half, and this half and cut it in half. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. One of these 4 parts would be written 1 of 4 parts. One other fraction that we've talked about is thirds. Let's practice this one with a brand new paper plates. Now thirds is a little bit different to cut. Thirds is not going to be 3 equal parts as easily as a half or fourths was. So for thirds, let's see, I think the best way to cut thirds is going to be at an angle, like you're cutting a piece of pie. Let's see. I think I should have practiced this one. Let's see. I'm stumping myself. Okay. Well, we need to try to make them be 3 equal parts. So I'm going to kind of do a half circle. I'll show you. I'm going to kind of do a half circle, and then I'm going to cut this one in half here. That's the best I got for thirds. on your paper, it'll be more exact and it'll show you 3 equal parts. But what you need to know for learning purposes is that thirds means 3 equal parts. Again, the top number, turn you around, thirds. So here's thirds. 1, see. There we go. There's thirds. There's 1, 2, 3. 1 of 3 parts is what makes, the fraction 1/3. All right. You could take out your math book, your math paper, and I'll go over just a couple things on page 253, but the majority of this you should be able to do on your own. So this is page 253 where you have kites and some counting by fives, or counting by twos, and some other exercises. I'll go over one at a time. Number 1, it says color the given amount. So here they want you to color 1/4. I won't keep the camera there because it has the answers, but 1/4, you're going to color 1 of the 4 parts. Then you'll follow the directions for 1/2 and a whole. I'm going to go over this whole paper. Maybe you've already done it. Good job. If not, you can do it when my video is over. Number 2, counting by twos. You know our favorite song about Odd Todd and Even Steven? I sent the YouTube video to Google Classroom. So ask your parents to click on the song and sing along. It's such a cute song and it helps us remember that odd numbers are what? Say them with me. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Remember, we look in the ones column to see if it's odd or even. 7 is odd, so 27 is odd. 1 is odd, so 261 is odd. 7 is odd, so 487 is odd. Can't forget even Steven. Say it with me. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. The ones column tells us if it's odd or even. 78, even. 6, even. So in number 2 on your paper, you need to do the before and the after number by twos. Looks like all of these are by twos using the even numbers. You can use your counting chart in your binder if you get a little bit stuck. Number 3, circle the number that is the greatest, underline the number that is least. When you're comparing numbers, remember which column we look in first. First, we look in the hundreds column. If all the numbers do not have hundreds column, then that might be an easy clue. If none of them have a hundreds column, then look in the tens column first. And then number 4, you have to play detective. Did they add or subtract to get that answer? Okay, so this is just kind of a warm-up to our lesson. So I'm going to present the lesson in my next video.